They won't read from page 1 as I told you. But if you're interested in national affairs, you can read. If you're interested in politics, you can read. If you're going for civil service and all, you can read. For commerce students, you can read the Economic Times, the Financial Times, etc. newspapers. So what I'm trying to tell you is there's no need to read big novels, the entire newspaper. Just what is to your interest. If you're interested in sports, read only that. You'll get some good words to improve the style of writing. Okay? So the other day, I'm reading newspaper. Every day, I'm reading newspaper, Times of India, to improve my English language. How one Gunda fellow threw stone at Indira Bend. Gunda is actually an Indian word. Just like I told you, prepone. You don't have a word called prepone. It is advanced. My test was advanced. My class was advanced. For example, you have a 5th hour class, which the professor said, third hour the professor is on leave. So I'll come and take, instead of the 5th hour, I'll come and take the third hour. That time you say, the class got advanced. The 5th hour class got advanced to the third hour, not prepone. But prepone is also used today because that's an Indianism. Though grammatically it is wrong. So Gunda is an Indian word for the English word rowdy is there, R-O-W-D-Y, rowdy. Or mischievous, miscreant, M-I-S-C-R-E-A-N-T. Miscreant is someone who is up to some mischief. So Gunda has become an Indian term, but look at the word that is used in an English poem. How one Gunda fellow threw stone at Indira Bend. Indira Bend can stand for anybody. XYZ, it's just a name. Must be student unrest fellow, I am thinking. Look at the colloquial tone. It must be some student problem. So must be a student unrest fellow, I am thinking. Friends, Romans, countrymen. This is in fact from Shakespeare's play by name Julius Caesar, where Julius Caesar addresses the people, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. So that is being taken, in this context. Friends, Romans, countrymen. I am saying to myself, no one is there to listen. There were people to listen to Julius Caesar. A crowd was there. Here, I'm only talking to myself. Lend me the ears. Everything is coming. Regeneration, remuneration, contraception. Look at the big words that are used, but no relevance at all. Regeneration, once again you generate something. Regenerate, bring about. Remuneration refers to your salary. Contraception refers to family planning. There is no connection between these three words, but it's impressive. Big words. If I use big words, it is as though I'm very knowledgeable. So even if I don't know the meaning, I will use it. So that is again an Indian way to impress others. The Westerners, they don't do it. Simple English. But we try to show off by mugging up, learning things by heart without knowing the context. We start using it in the wrong places, like it has happened here. So everything is coming. Regeneration, remuneration, contraception. Be patiently, brothers and sisters. What should be the correct grammatical sentence? Is it patiently or be patient? Which is correct? Patient. Very good, Vishnu. It has to be patient. Please listen to the class patiently. But when the word be is there, you be patient. Suppose I think you will be standing in the queue for your enrollment or whatever it is. Naturally, after some time, you want to, you're feeling hungry, It's taking a long time. So the dean will say, hey, be patient, wait, we'll come, your turn will come. Be patient, not be patiently. But when you say it, you can say, I patiently waited for 2 hours to pay my fees or to enroll myself. So there's a difference. When others instruct you, it is be patient in the class, be patient with your attendance. But when you are trying to tell others, you say, I waited patiently, I sat down patiently, I was waiting for my friend. So it has to be patient and not be patiently. Brothers and sisters. And then you want one glass lassi? Actually, the grammatical correct British grammatical form is, do you want a glass of lassi? That is the correct way. It's not, you want one glass of lassi. We always ask them, you coming? It is, are you coming? But Indianism is, you coming? You coming? No. We are going to the canteen. You coming? No. He'll ask. His idea is conveyed. So that is why you want one glass lassi. Very good for digestion. True, we all know the importance of lassi. Lassi is again, as I told you, an Indian word. The English word is yogurt. Curd and yogurt. Yogurt is sweetened curd. Lassi is sweetened curd. In yogurt, you add flavors. Lassi also, I think there are different flavored lassis today. So he wanted to bring about the Indianism again using the word lassi. You want one glass lassi? Very good for digestion. With little salt, lovely drink. Better than wine. Very true, no? Lassi or curd is actually probiotic, we say. It's good for your stomach. We have curd rice, a very popular food item. Curd is very cooling to the body. And for our temperature, especially in Chennai and all, which is quite warm or hot in the Khatri period, curd is a very cooling element. That's why curd rice is very popular. So it is good for our stomach because the bacteria that is converting that milk into curd, the lactin bacteria, is good for our body. Unlike wine, which is fermented, lassi is soothing to the body, to the stomach, cooling. Whereas wine, if you have tasted wine, you'll know, even if it's a little bit, after some time your head might go a little dizzy. Not as bad as, it's not alcohol, but that fermentation adds to a little bit of alcoholic feeling to it, intoxicated feeling. So that is why he says Indian things are good. Lassi is good. It is better than your wine. Not that I'm ever tasting the wine. Hey, I don't taste wine. Okay? Don't think that I tasted wine and then I'm telling you that it is good. I'm a total teetotaler, completely total. Now, who is a teetotaler? A teetotaler is someone who abstains from drinking. Teetotaler does not take, whiskey or brandy or those kind of hard drinks. So I'm a total teetotaler, even wine. I don't take it all. I'm a total teetotaler, completely total. When you use the word total, it means everything. So why should you use completely total? Teetotaler itself means someone who avoids hard drinks totally. But the word to emphasize that you use, I'm a total teetotaler, completely total. To emphasize the fact that you don't touch it at all. But you can convey that even by using the word total, teetotaler. But I say, Wine is for the drunkards only. See, he's making fun of the Britishers or the Westerners who gave us the English language. Hey, wine. We don't take wine, we take only lassi. Wine is for the drunkards, you people are drunkards. Oh, it's for you only. We don't take wine at all. Then, what do you think of prospects of world peace? Pakistan behaving like this, China behaving like that? It is making me really sad, I'm telling you. Really, most harassing me. It's troubling me. World peace. See, we gave the concept of non-violence. Look at the first sentence. I'm standing for peace and non-violence. That is the Indian concept of non-violence. But what are you people doing outside India? China fighting with us. Pakistan fighting with us. He has not added other countries, but Sri Lanka fighting with us. Fighting with us. What about the world? What happened in Afghanistan? America interfering. What happened in Kuwait? America interfering. What happened to other nations colonized by Britain? So we are not like that. India is a great nation. You people behave like this, but we are great. We stand for non-violence. We stand for peace. We want world peace, not just peace in a country. And if Pakistan and China are all fighting with us, even our peace is destroyed. That is making me really harassing. Harassing is troubling me very much because even the peace in India is destroyed because of the countries like Pakistan or China. Really, very troubling me, harassing me. All men are brothers, no? Look at the colloquial tone. It is no, all men are brothers, no? I think I should add on to that, all women are sisters too. We should add that. Why only men? There is your pledge is there, no? India is my country. Then
All Indians are my brothers and
ah,
sisters.
all Indians are my brothers and sisters. I think in school during the assembly they'll ask you to repeat the pledge. India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. And I read a joke somewhere that one man, he went to the United States to study, go for his higher education, MS degree, and got married to an American over there. And the parents were really shocked hearing this news because they were looking for a good girl, from their community. When this boy spoke to the parents saying that he has found a girl for himself, and she's an American, and he is going to marry her. And looking at the time, and the marriage also will be held in the United States. The parents were shocked. The parents asked, "How come you do this? You should find a girl from our community. We are searching for that. And meanwhile, this is what you did." And the boy immediately jokingly said, "See, from school onwards, I've been taking this pledge. India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. So, do you think I can get married to an Indian who is my sister? I cannot get married to my own sister. No, because all Indians are my brothers and sisters. So, I cannot get anyone from India. So, that is why I chose an American." Okay, anyway, it was a joke that I read somewhere. So Indians are all men are brothers, no? In India also, you have different kinds of people: Gujaratis, Maharashtrians, Hindiwalas, South Indians are also there, and all these North Indians call us South Indians as Madrasis. Whether you're from Karnataka or whether you're from Telangana or from Andhra or from Kerala or from Tamil Nadu, they commonly call all as Madrasis. So Gujaratis, in India also Gujaratis, Maharashtrians, Hindiwalas, all brothers. Though some are having funny habits, still you tolerate me. See, within India there is diversity, but still we tolerate each other. And with tolerance comes peace. But look at what Pakistan is doing. Look at what China is doing. They are breaking the world peace, fighting with us. But look at within our country. It's a beautiful country. The unity and diversity concept. We are always very proud of that in India. We belong to different castes, different communities, different languages, different states, different races. Because North India is the Aryan race, South India is the Dravidian race, Northeast India is the Mongoloid race. But still, we are united. as a nation. The Indians, we are proud of that. Different cultures we have, different food items we have, but we enjoy everything. And I think I need not explain much to you because you yourself would have witnessed that in your life. At least in my life, I enjoy eating chaat items. Chaat is not a southern Tamil Nadu item. The bel puri, the pani puri, etc. All those chaat items, we all enjoy. You go to North India, they will enjoy our idli and dosa, which are typically south. If you go to Kerala or that Kanyakumari border, putta has become a famous item there. Appam. Then again, you find in Karnataka, they have the thick dosas, the Mysore masala dosa, etc. Very popular. Andhra has got that gongura and the pickle, the very chili-based food items. Every state has got its own food item. Northeast has got a lot of bamboo shoots put into the food items. It's tasty. So, every state in Kashmir, you have the Kashmiri pulao, which has got, sweet raisins and all put in that pulao, saffron and raisins and all. Look at the varieties of biryani itself that you get. I think the Talapakatti specializes in that Ziraga Samba rice that is put into biryani. Other places have got the basmati rice, and basmati comes from the best quality comes from Punjab and all, which are even exported, Punjab, Haryana, etc., Uttar Pradesh. You go to West Bengal, all the rasagullas, what is the other thing that is gulab jamuns, lots of items. Gujaratis, the Gujarati thali, the food items, very famous. Rajasthani cuisine. So look at every item, whether it is food, look at the dress. Even the sari can be worn in different ways. The different textures of sari. Tamil Nadu, you have the Kanchipuram patta. Kerala, you have the Kerala Kasavu sari. I think Pochampalli comes from Hyderabad, Andhra, I think. Mysore silk again comes from Karnataka. The Oriya handloom, Bengal cotton, Banarasi silk, and the different ways it is worn. The North Indians wear it in a different style. The Northeast people wear sari, and their dress, the sari is called Meghla Chaat. They also have a sari. So it's so beautiful. This is the variety that you have in India, whether it is dress or whether it is even your men's wear, sherwani, Nehru suit, etc. It's different. Veshti. This is what constitutes Indianness. So even in a language, there is an Indianness. That's what Nissim Ezekiel is trying to say. So you find in India also, Gujaratis, Maharashtrians, Hindiwalas, all brothers. Though some are having funny habits, still you tolerate me and I tolerate you. One day, Ram Rajya is surely coming. Now, Ram Rajya is not the concept which BJP is trying to propagate today. Okay, that's political one. But what he says about Ram Rajya is a unity. India is a secular country, unlike Nepal, which is a Hindu country. Nepal is a completely Hindu country. Pakistan is a Muslim country, Islamic. Bangladesh is an Islamic country. Whereas India is a secular country. But the Ram Rajya means where there is happiness, peace, unity among the people. So one day Ram Raje is surely coming. You are going, coming also should have going, no? So that is why that you are going, it's used in a very sarcastic tone. Suppose I say the rain is coming. Will we ask when is it going? We don't ask, no? The moment you see clouds around, hey, it's going to rain, rain is coming. But you don't ask the question, when is the rain going? Where is the rain going? You don't ask it. But come opposite is go. You come here, you go there. So that is why, again in Indianism, he is trying to make fun of our logicality in our language. But you will visit again anytime, any day. So India is a nation, a land where you can visit again. There is so much of unity, there is so much of tolerance. Though it is funny, though there is difference, anytime you can visit again, but you will visit again anytime, any day. I am not believing in ceremony. Ceremony means formality. We Indians, we don't say thank you, please, for everything. Even in our houses, because I've seen when I traveled abroad many a times, even between the father and the mother, or between the parents and the children, or between the children themselves, that politeness. Can you please give me that? Thank you. நம்ம இடையில அந்த மாதிரி கிடையாது. நம்ம suppose we are sitting together at the table to eat a food. Does your father or mother say, hey, can you please put some 2 pieces? Can I please serve sambar to you? We are more colloquial, but we still have that love within the heart. Amma will say, சாப்பிட்டீங்க சாப்பிட்டீங்க, நிறைய இருக்கேன், நீங்க சாப்பிட்டீங்க, உட்காருங்க, உட்கார்ந்து சாப்பிட்டீங்க. So that's what we tell, no? That is our way. It's not just the formal words, but we are also hospitable. We enjoy, yes, serving people. Angelam, I've seen, in the US, once my friend, American friend, she invited me for a lunch. Okay, and they have early lunch. So she asked me at what time will you come? 12 o'clock, she asked me. So I said 12 is too early to have lunch. So I told her 12:30 I'll come for lunch. Okay, fine. We don't respect the time actually in India. What I did was at 12:25, I started from, it's very close by to where I stay. So at 12:25, I took the cab, knowing that it's only a 5-minute drive from where I stay to my friend's house. But it so happened there was some traffic block that I reached her place 10 minutes late, 12:40. And I pressed her bell. She came out of the house to open it. Just without even completely open it, gave me one stare. Dr. Anne, what is your time now? I looked at my watch and I said 12:40. But you said you will come at 12:30. You should have respected the time. I said, I'm so sorry about it. I was caught in the traffic jam, though I started at 12:25. I know that it is just 5 minutes. But you should have calculated that 12:30 means 12:30. I said, yeah, I learned a great lesson. Thank you. And only then she asked me to come inside her house. Ashishu, we are not like that. That's why I said there's a lot of difference, We used to have students from America and all coming to NCC for exchange program. And sometimes in the class, 8:30 means they'll be there at 8:25 inside the classroom. Whereas our people will come, 10, 15 minutes late. They respect time. That's very, very important. So, but you will visit again anytime, any day. I'm not believing in ceremony or formality. Always, I'm enjoying your company. I enjoy the company. We may not be very ceremonial. We may not be very formal, but we enjoy the company of each other. But though the poem ends there, let me also tell you that please give respect to the time. That is very, very important. You might say all these things anytime, any day, but I have seen students, sometimes tell their friends. My friend said she will come at 9:30 to the cafeteria. I'm waiting for my friend. Pawan, the student will be waiting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, simply sitting there. So that is disrespecting time. When you have asked a person to come at such and such a time, better that you keep the time. Or if you are not able to, inform. I'm sorry, I'm not able to come. I'll come in another 5 to 10 minutes. And why I'm telling you this is in your future.